The torture didn't take only place inside of the school, but also outside of the school. Right outside of the school. Yeah, this is just one of the oldest Josip Broz Tito, Milan Kuchan schools that served Russian agenda. They had Russian kids coming here. I had, for instance, the kids I met in the Belarus from Russia, from Donbass, was one. I think Vladimir was his name, Vlad. They had Russian kids. Valeria was also here. They had Russian KGB kids coming here. You understand? I wasn't about Josip Broz Tito only. It wasn't about. It was not about Milan Kuchan only. This American civil rights movement, blacks, they demanded for the Russian kids to be imported to the USA through my case. They literally were demanding from the US government, from Washington, D.C., because of me. They used me as an excuse to import in the US black, I should say, Russian kids, KGB kids that grew up literally into the KGB. The most KGB people from Russia, they demanded KGB people. Because I was an evil kid, they claimed. This was a torture. What's there to say? I mean, lynching, school of lynching. F.D. McArthur Elementary School. Josip Broz Tito wanted this one very much. He wanted this one very much. This entire neighborhood was involved in a torture. All this. It had something to do with the Martin Luther King. I hate not to see this before they're gonna destroy everything. Man, my life was worth fucking shit, nothing, literally. This was a horror. This was a horror. Really was a horror. They used to say that, and there is a new university from what I remember. They built some kind of new university around here in this area. I don't know what that will be. Because I remember the university kids, black kids, they were all horrified by seeing this school here. This school was, this school was built in such a way, they claimed, that it looked like a psychiatric institution, and it was built in such a way, blacks claimed that it was built in such a way so that when you start to go to the grammar school like this, you will not even notice a difference once you get into the psychiatric ward. That's what the black people started to hallucinate a bit too much. Watching me together with the Russian kids being destroyed, participating in lynching, they started to hallucinate about things that Russians, Slovenian side started to brainwash them on. That was my case. Not quite, but fact of the matter is that Russian schools, in the Soviet Union schools, the communists promoted the schools truly that looked identical to the psychiatric institutions. So they took a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and they embedded this in storytelling fables, basically. You know, bullshit stuff, lies, garbage, when actually truly killing really real people, and doing their best to destroy United States of America as much as they possibly could through the hatred issues. That was the black kids with the Russians, with the KGBs. That's what that is. Listen, man, if you were up to any good, I'm gonna put it to you like this: you never ever would get down to this level of violence like you did. This was the violence that went on since kindergarten, throughout entire grammar school, the school for which they figure out there was just too much lead inside, asbestos, which was all the schools they had in the US, and would have to be taken down anyways. So they did incredible, disgusting stuff to cause as much harm as possible. It's really sad, no? I mean, it's sad, but then on the other hand, you can see that this was about the supremacy. This was about the black supremacy that associated itself with the Russians and started to build a completely different kind of America, or basically pledging themselves into a service of psychiatry, basically. Black America pledging itself to serve psychiatry and to murder as many as possible white kids through psychiatry, literally through what they believe was the Soviet Union, Soviet indoctrination, Soviet ideology. That's what this shit is about. Don't fucking talk to me about no fucking black civil rights issues when whites couldn't even disclose how much crime your civil rights were involved in, and whites could not even disclose the truth behind this gruesome case because of for your sake. They fear for your sake that it's going to be damaged your core of Martin Luther King. And this is what I'm going to step in and say: these whites were neo-Nazis. These whites were neo-Nazis, and you blacks were just a dumber than dumb toys, animals, idiots in the hands of the neo-Nazis and Russians. That's what this is. But you're never going to understand that because you're too primitive anyways. The hatred, the way they handle you with the hatred, and the way you learn to use hatred on me, because I started to hate because of you too. It's just something that is overwhelmingly having a control over you. And that's actually the end of America. This is what the Russians did to you. I didn't do it. For what I'm concerned, and it really didn't happen like the black professors claimed it would. The black professors' principals claimed that the more of the black violence will be done to me, the more that I'm going to like black people, which is the most black women, which is the most idiotic thing that you possibly can think of you could do unto somebody like myself. You know, if I was a little bit different, I could have gone after you and destroy you literally. Is the way the stuff you did is so deplorable, regrettable. Without actually having any kind of influence on my psyche, on my mental mind. I know that there is weak people out there that you can do the stuff like this and they will go and they will turn either to a neo-Nazi or they will turn into they're going to go after, a black woman or something like that. because, you know, whatever. I'm just not one of those people. So, I don't know, man. I finally became free now. I always liked certain types of black women, but I couldn't like anything really till I have liberated myself from you and from that Russian scum. Foremost from the Russian Serbian scum that you imported and you posed next to and you were so proud about, to have some kind of brother from the other side of the world that was called the Soviet Union. I don't know. It's just fortunate for me that I had some good black women involved in it, and foremost also of other races that regardless even of my lunacy, because I became insane too, I started to see racially stuff. Somehow and with a great difficulty, even with getting involved in torture themselves, but still managed somehow to maintain a certain level of the sanity that allowed me to liberate myself from this shit. Actually, not really, but it helped me maintain a certain healthy level of me, inside of me, during the stuff that you were doing with your Russian partners, with your American white neo-Nazi scum. Now, just truly sad. I don't really know what to tell you about this stuff. This is truly insane. You can go and you can see what this looks like on the inside. It's like this. I think this girl that's there, I don't even know. You're gonna see a girl inside. I think she came from, I think it was European, and I'm not sure. I really do not know. Because it was Europeans, they would go see that zoo right there and open. Yeah, I mean, the stuff that you see right there, the way you see it, I'm going to explain to you about this stuff. This is not what the school was. The school was clean. There was vandalizing that was done to the school by the kids. But the school was extremely strict. The school, the principal, they would get you. I remember those black teachers also that they would get kids. It would be very bad if they would do stuff. They had very harsh punishments in the school for the kids if they would get kids doing. I have to think about what kind of punishments those punishments were. This is just a brutal neighborhood all around. I mean, this was just brutal neighborhood. Once it ended, but you see right there, those rooms and shit, I was still delivered here for torture. It did not end for me. I mean, the school got closed already. I would continue to be brought here for torture stuff and so on. And sometimes also not for torture. It was for people that would come like this to see it. There was some Finland girl one time. I think she was or something like that. I don't know. It was many people that came from around the world having me next to them watch this stuff. Yeah, once the school got closed down, it was completely insane. I do remember all the teachers, principals, absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. The last thing I got was from the white lady that figured out that I was the one that destroyed the school, and the school in fact was due to lead and stuff, just as this man here explains, because it's too hurtful for them. It's too much for Americans. This is just too hard.
If we're at 4,
it's just too hard to disclose this stuff. You know, they have a difficulty. They have a hard time to discuss this stuff, to explain what actually happened, and so they find all kinds of. All these guys were involved in this with a girl, with that girl right there since my childhood. You know, they don't even dare to bring any black people that were involved in this stuff. This was not ran by the people that you see here. These people have absolutely nothing to do with it. They participated from the side, in the groups. This was so deadly, these neighborhoods, and I was tormented by these black gangs, children, teachers also, that administer this stuff. This is stuff already I spoke about. I actually wonder how much time I really spent in the U.S. as a child, but could have been I spent more time in the U.S. than in Slovenia, I don't know. It was enormously a lot, and this is what should have been vacation for me, like a school vacation. This is what they used at large. If it was short vacation, the kids would go home to rest themselves. I would be loaded on a cattle plane for the USA and also disappear here and there for some week too, and so on. Pretty disgusting stuff. A real horror. Truly a horror. Well, I'm not horrified by that. I'm more horrified by the people that don't have a face to come out. And I guess it's like a psychological introduction, a prelude into world of people who were behind all this stuff. I don't know. I remember this black guy, this assistant principal, I think he was. He had a house not too far from here. Now this is, where is this? This is in Texas. Alright, this is the one and only McArthur Elementary School that was not involved in violence. They also had me here. George Bush wanted to see me in this school. There's a lot of blonde kids inside in here to make sure that I'm not going to blame them. No, there's nothing to blame there. There is nothing much to blame there. Wow. What's this thing here? Pensacola was involved in a torture. They wanted to cover up. F.D. McArthur Elementary School. They wanted to cover up for. They did their best. They wanted to cover up for the school that you see right there. This one here involved in a torture. This one was like maybe the last one they involved in it. This is what is this shit here? This is Birmingham, I think, right? This is Alabama, Birmingham. This was the last one that was involved. No, not really the last one, sorry. They fooled me. They tried to fool me, because if you enter through this entrance here, through the entrance where I was at, you have a completely different idea about this place. than if you enter through the side entrance. So this was also one of the first. This was one of the first Josip Broz Tito. Josip Broz Tito claimed that I was a neo-Nazi as a child, and make a decision that he's going to enroll me in every black school and that kind of stuff. He's going to teach me a lesson. And we all know what kind of lesson those lessons were, what the Russians really needed, and so on. So it all depends which entrance do you go through. That was the main entrance, the one that I demonstrated you. But this school, I am absolutely insane. I'm crazy. The schoolmates from Slovenia came here. The school teacher, Anton Bučar, was one of the head people that was in charge for this operation. The grammar school came here. And this was the main entrance. This was the main entrance. They lied. They lied about. They were doing this through the electroshocks, clear the memory out of the head, and then it's called like a roadblock, basically. So that then threaten you like, welcome here, I am la 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 la, and so on and so forth, and make you aware of what grade you are and stuff like that, and then look at you and start to doubt about what grade, what did you said? You said you were here before. Oh, this boy already crazy, and so on. So those are mental roadblocks that are being used in MKUltra a lot, and so. This grammar school, this torture started here when I was first grade grammar school, second grade grammar school, before that, first grade grammar school. And the goal of this school particularly was to match the school here at Gurm. They claim it's somewhere similar, but it's not. The Serbo-Slovenian psychiatry had a job to make me feel in other countries like at home in Slovenia, where violence went on inside of this grammar school Gurm. So they suggested me, there's no escape for you, there's no escape for you. And they involved different kind of environments in which they blended my schoolmates. So now you have my schoolmates participating with the bullies, with black bullies, with all kinds of bullies from other schools in other countries, and wanting to make you feel that there is no escape, like a planet ape, like a planet apes, like a complete planet apes. So now there is no mental escape, because they wanted to mentally break me down. So I have bullies from this school, from other schools, associated themselves with my schoolmates. This was done at the Osnovna Šola Gurm first. This guy, this Anton Bučar, was not even a teacher yet at the Osnovna Šola Gurm I think he was not, when he got involved in this stuff. I think that Anton Bučar is his name. Anton Bučar. Anton Bučar was selected by the Milan Kučan personally to become a pedagogue and was involved in a torture before even he became a teacher. With me literally attending the university where he attended. This is the story about this Anton Bučar. So he was used like one of the main UDBA people at this school here, at Novo Mesto Grammar School. At this school here. This is a city of the Novo Mesto here. I am thankful to God for all this stuff, because the one who fucked you all really is God. I mean, that's it. You know. It was the school which I attended as a child, a grammar school. Ah, shit. So you would go up here, this here, past this bank here. This was our house right here that you see. Then you would continue. That's employment, state employment agency. So you would go look for the job. This is the school. And so that's exactly what they would do. All right. So I was lucky enough to last so long that this blonde kids, plenty of blonde kids, they also did some nasty stuff. They're also not innocent. Shit also started to go inside of this school. And you know what they say, it's about the solidarity with those others, you know. In reality, you can see that this solidarity is something completely different, you know. You finally see that this solidarity went way past black people, way past what the black people built was what you see here. Because it's always the upper hand, the top of the state that has control over anything, everything. And no matter what the fuck you do, you can be evil, you can be a bad boy, you can be a bad girl, whatever the fuck you do, it's always the man at the top that takes advantage of it. And so then you realize that you actually fucked yourself. And you actually in a long term caused yourself more damage than good, right? I was just lucky enough, fortunate enough to last it so long, and that I had a tremendous sense for the female beauty. And as this case went on and on, and I got to see, it's not about a female beauty, but I didn't want to even deal with the girls that didn't appeal to me, to tell you straight. I didn't give a three fuck about the girls that didn't appeal to me. And that was the right thing to do, because the job I had was the toughest job in the world. It was a job impossible to survive. Okay, so now the only way to survive was basically one way. And I was basically there to the top of the top of the top of the top of the chain. And the only mistake I had made is I actually bowed down to these losers here from Buckingham Palace. That was really stupid shit, because they're worthless. They're completely worthless. But even this was not a mistake. Even this was handy for me, because at least I got to see something beautiful. I got to see, even if it was not real, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It was palaces, it was people, fancy people with the fancy cars and so on. And that kind of shit helped me maintain top of the chain attitude, regardless literally of having nothing. Nothing to live for. You know what I mean? So now, what it was is I always look for, beautiful, really beautiful. And that stuff, that beautiful that I search and search and search, maybe too much physically beautiful. Maybe too much physically beautiful. But this tough girls, my tough girls also broke down over the course of years. They also were in tour. The life teach them that, that is just, oops, life tutored them that it was just, what can I say, that is not necessary that what you see is what it is. That's not necessary that life, I'm not going to say life is tricky, but it might have not even how can I even properly explain myself about this stuff? These girls, all through they try to make me feel like shit, sometimes rightfully so. Sometimes I was whatever, oh, that's impossible to explain. That's just totally impossible to explain. My attitude depended on a lot of factors, if I like the girl, and it could be a small thing that could be a trouble, it would be enough that that she wouldn't give me or something like that or whatever, and then I would not want to have nothing with her anymore or whatever, it was all kinds of stuff that was involved in this stuff. And so these girls keep up with me. Even sometimes they hated me. Many of this, I think that this collection that gathered itself around me, these girls, I think them, and I think these are the most beautiful women in the world. I don't know, but I think I was a collector of really the most appealing women. And so what happened was, if you wanted to be evil with me, you couldn't be, because over the course of time that you learn more about me, if you wanted to fucking hate me, whatever, eventually you failed. There was no way, because life also, explained to you that that things are not exactly like that, and so on. And so I was just fortunate enough, really fortunate enough, to have strive toward this feminine beauty. I was also fortunate enough that state, in many cases, did maintain girls that I liked, for instance. That I have to say that many girls got a better part of it when it comes to life, but many, it makes me not feel good about it. They pulled a short one, just as I wrote on the blog. But it's exactly thanks to these girls that I managed to maintain my sanity. It really was not to what, this Barack Obama and these principals and these blacks teachers figure out the more you're going to abuse him and this and that, it's going to fall for this and so on. Shit, it doesn't work like this. It truly doesn't work like this, For me personally, if I had to work out things, when I liberated myself from the lies, when I became free, I finally found myself This was one of the girls that was involved very long time. What the hell is this? What is this? And so there are certain things you can always retrieve yourself to. There's always certain things that you can always find your sanity in. And definitely, what the hell is this thing here? Nah. Okay, there you go. I got the most beautiful women in the world I found. That's for damn sure. And that what actually saved my life, you know. This is what actually saved my life. This is what... Anton Butcher, this goes to the kindergarten with this guy. It goes to the kindergarten with this guy, Anton Butcher. This will speak up, this is extremely connected to Milan Kučan guy. This guy. It's directly Josip Broz Tito, I mean, totally. This one literally entered the school to be with me throughout the life as an educator. Case manager is what you call that kind of stuff. Specialized into the stuff. For damn sure that because of this, because of the female beauty, I survived. Without the female beauty, I would not survive. It is a trouble because I don't know what to tell you. In a way it is, but in a way it's not. It depends how you see it. There's always something normal in every one of you, regardless of how much they torture. And the thing about it is that you just have to find that normal. And to find that normal, it was just extremely difficult to do, because the torture was so much and to such a high degree that you don't even know who you are. I mean, you don't forget about yourself, but like it was in my case, you don't actually have the right to even know who you are till it gets all too late. This place here, this FD McArthur School, they send a lot of kids to the psychiatric institutions from here. This was a very rough place. This black guy, this black principal was located. His house is right here, actually. Wait a minute. Holy shit! Yeah, I should know about all these houses. Damn it. He had a. It was right here up the hill. There should be a neighborhood here, residential neighborhood. Yeah, he told me that I have to know their houses and stuff like that too. Oh, this is so old here, this stuff here. Oh, this building was involved in a torture too, this here. Yeah, this is an old MK8 neighborhood. This is full of the Russians here. White Russian kids, they would be coming here to this place. Belarusian that I met in the Belarus. Including the girl I was with in the Belarus. Tatyanushka too. Learn about this stuff. This girl here, look at her. That you saw a little earlier on the Facebook page, on my Facebook page. A Russian girl. This girl here. This one here. See this? They did something bad to her. She immigrated to the Holland. This was one of the earliest involved in my case, right here. This place here, this stuff here. This was, I don't know what the fuck it was, because, why? Because they had two buildings. One building like this was a residential building, which most likely is this one right here that you see. And yeah, this was a residential building. And then there was another building which looked just like this one here, but they had some kind of offices inside. And it was, let me just see this here. Wow, I'm thinking about, I even got myself into a big piece chunk of information here that I should even take more time to go over this stuff. But this was a residential building here. This one was residential, really poor residential building. And then there was another residential building. You see this stuff here, this is what I would be pointed out a million times during MKH by the psychiatrist cops, by the Slovenian side, dead, and dead. Do you see this sign? Do you see this? And so on. So this is just a classic stuff. They had another building that was an office. It must be in this area here too. Russians got to know Putin, talking about the Putin and Russians, KGB, entire United States of America. Whatever they wanted, they would use me to take me. I should get to the black principal, assistant principal, one of the head teachers. Damn it if it wasn't something like here, something like this. He was taking me to all the, you know, how this guy looked like. Yeah, he had a daughter, man. He had a daughter. And I think daughter wasn't even that bad looking, eh? But he figured out I'm just too fucking crazy. just too fucking crazy for my daughter. The black folks got really smart back in the day. You're just too fucking crazy, man. Yeah, man, this is it. This is where a black principal was, from here. Was it a principal? I don't know. I think he was assistant principal. Or one of the senior teachers at least. Here, baby. Here somewhere. Maybe even behind there somewhere. Here, one of this here. Wow. See? That's how that goes. I was just too fucking crazy, man. I think he had a daughter. Maybe even two, I'm thinking about. Not one, but maybe even two. I'm 100% that he's still here. Maybe he's not. No, he must be it. Because he was a tough man and he just doesn't give up. I bet he's still alive. Might be his home right here, who knows? That's what I'm thinking. I think this must be it. I don't think he would ever leave this place, no matter what. He had a white neighbors. The neighbors were completely white. Blonde. Some good-looking girls they had too. Women. And I wasn't interested in it. In this one here. Then. Yeah, I liked really a good-looking woman. I preferably dated white. Absolutely. Unless it was something that looked really, really good. And this is why. This is what I was trying to say to you. That's how I surrounded myself with these beautiful females. And it meant to me a lot. Simply, it meant to me tremendously a lot, because simply this most beautiful women that I found, and that's why I'm actually really angry, because you destroyed me, quite a few of them. You subjected them to, many of these girls, some of these girls settled for pornographic stuff, for adult entertainment, which it doesn't matter to me, this stuff. I'm not open-minded. I am not liberal. I'm not whatever the hell you want to call me. I'm all of the above, because simply I learned that life is about more than just making choices in your life. The people that found themselves through my surroundings were people that were guided by the state, heavily guided by the state, and it just happened so that whoever had an upper hand, biggest influence on their lives, it's how they were making choices. And so none of these girls, regardless of making their choice, is a bad girl. It's just as simple as that. Something I have to give them back. For the stuff, on the other hand, they got wealthy. They got wealthy through me. Most of them got. They collected a lot of money. They got wealthy, and I was paying through the torture for that money. But still, there is a piece in these girls that these girls are not in peace. I think that all of these girls that got involved in this stuff, they just they always there for me somehow. With portion of them, it's always there with me. It's such a big case, this stuff. It was for so long. It dragged for so long. It became political, extremely political also for them. That was truly unlikely that these girls would get into the world of politics and stuff like this. In the end, they end up dating all kinds of politicians, people, and so on, and it's just absolutely, regardless of wherever they got themselves involved in, it would be completely wrong for me to say no to any of them. I mean, it is just as simple as this. I am never going to walk away from any of these girls. So that's how I save my sanity, basically. That's how I save my sanity. That's exactly how I did not go completely insane. All right. So this house here that I demonstrated, this is actually really funny. This is so funny. This shit. This is so funny. Man, this principal afterwards started to hate me and so on, and torture went on. The girls got married. I don't know if the man is still in the picture. I don't know if he's still alive. It's probably family from the daughter. They have this place here. I think he's no longer alive. He had a church down here. Take me to the church. There's a church. Then they wanted to take me to the church, and I didn't want to be in a fucking church. Simple as this, because this just did not work for me. This MK Ultra and church and stuff like that did not work. He had a church. There must be a church somewhere here. I don't understand this here. They had a church here. At least it appeared to me it was in this area here. This church. It's supposed it was a black church. I don't understand that. I don't get it. This like predominantly German, white, very blunt neighborhood otherwise. At least it used to be. I don't know how it is these days. But the way they poisoned with this stuff is they put in the picture a really beautiful, appealing. I'm gonna give you the whole breakdown, the whole technology, how this shit is done. The way this stuff is done is, as a child, naturally you're attracted to your own, you know. Naturally, there's a child that you are attracted to your own, right? And so, this was just a church. I don't actually even understand where they having no, this was just a building. The hell was this thing here? Why would they bring me here? I'm thinking about this was some kind of, I don't even know what the fuck was that. A convention center, maybe some shit like this, that they had a church inside, or rehabilitation, Northway Health rehabilitation shit. So they might have something inside to do with some room, something like that, with the church. Yeah, it wasn't the church outside and stuff like that. Yeah, rehabilitation, this one here was involved since from forever, just as much. I did not understand anything. I did not understand absolutely anything. Let me explain to you how they did this shit, the Russians, how they did this stuff with American whites, how they did this, so that you will understand how they do it. Everybody here was involved in it. Everybody here. I did not know what the fuck went on here. I was drugged up. I really did not know. Yeah, unless they pointed me out. I did. I would if they would point me out. It's trauma. It's a trauma-based torture. Through the trauma, when you are traumatized so much that you basically respond to the jabs more than you utilize your brain. So, let me explain to you exactly how this shit is done. This neo-Nazi shit. The way they did this shit here in this school, also here in this stuff here. Let's go back to the school for a moment. So I'm gonna break you down everything the way this stuff was done. They had also what were known as white classes, and it would be a white class, and then they would use Milan Kuchan, Robert Golob, Gregor Golobic, this dunk here that you see. Teacher also from here, this butcher and stuff like that, selected before he even entered the school. He had me with him at the university and so on. Everything. The way they do this stuff. Now that's the piece of the art that I can give you. That's what I'm really good at. I'm really good at going back in time and, investigate exactly how this shit was done. This was predominantly was a black school. It was black kids they had, but they had a class or two that will also be completely white with the blonde, beautiful girls and stuff like that. That's what they would do. And then you don't want to be there. You don't want to be with the black kids. You don't want this. You don't want to put him into the white class. So through the torture that the black kids, multiracial kids were used for, they would dump me into the white class. Then inside of the white class, where I would spend, you would have the girls and flirting with you, and it would be everything would be beautiful, perfectly nice for a little bit time, for a little short period. Then you would have the teachers from this grammar school where I'm from. I just demonstrated you. All of a sudden they would appear. The same shit was here. No, this was more multiracial. All of a sudden they would appear at the school together with Robert Golob, with this one here. This dunk here that you see. This. And you would have this here. This kind of stuff. And you would have this one here. This kind of stuff. And they would say, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And on the side, I would have whites, older, just as old as Milan Kuchan was, or just as old as this here, and these Serbs they would have involved in it. Russians who demanded in front of me to be with the black kids, with the multiracial kids, subjected to torture during MKUltra. And Americans, white Americans, they would put me to the class with the white kids, also together with the British Royals. That's how this stuff is done. It's really, really pathological, sickening, the technology of it under MKUltra. And then what they would do is they would bring inside of the class where they would join through their teachers, it would be white teachers, everything so beautiful, everything white, It would be a multiracial kit they would deliver. And all of a sudden it would be another kid, multiracial kid they would deliver, and they would start to do nasty stuff. You understand me? And then you would have the white kids, based on the teachers that would give them support, joining the torture circle that would be increasing, and then it would be more black kids, and that's how they would traumatize. It's like a perfect, repeated over and over and over again through these animals here in London. Circle. They loved nothing more than torture of the children. These people were absorbed with the pain and suffering that it can be caused to the child. They were absorbed with psychiatry. They were absorbed with mental illness, creation of the mental illness. Well, and that's exactly the kind of stuff that the Russians promoted because they needed it. The Russian Empire was crumbling. It was falling apart, and so they knew at one point in time the Soviet Union is coming to an end because of stuff I told you earlier in the video. So it was preemptive for them. It was extremely important for them to prove that there is a neo-Nazis in this world, that the neo-Nazis exist. You understand? So we're going to call this movie Making of the Neo-Nazi. I was, however, truly fortunate, totally blessed. I'm not going to show you the pictures because it's going to get X rating. I'm not going to show you the pictures. And so
guarda c'è, vado alla foto. Mi rispettati, c'è tutta guardata qui, tutte le mole.
She was involved in it. I was extremely fortunate for these females to somehow stick around me, even when I became probably the ugliest man in the world. Obese, thrown into the psychiatric hospital, falling apart right there in front of their eyes. I have no idea how the hell they even keep up with me. My days, however, were counted, numbered, really numbered. They crossed me out already. They were sure that where the whole thing was heading to, I just will have no choice other than, you know. People were wondering and wondering, you know, how I was still coming back to them alive through MK Ultra. So this is this story. I'm not angry at the black people for this stuff, because I know that it was much, much, much more than that. It was much, 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 much. The picture was of completely of a different proportions with completely different stuff. Maybe you can learn something out of this crime from me, huh? Maybe you can help somebody out there that hopefully never another one is going to find himself in the circumstances I have. But that's what this is like. This is what this is. They were taking the credit, all these politicians with the royals, they were taking the credit for doing the nasty stuff to me. Many people ask, oh, but how come that these people are they do nasty stuff like this? They call them like a sneaky. The British royals are sneaky. They're not sneaky. They're killers. They're murderers. They're assassins. And the sneaky stuff they do it like this to in a really, really nasty way, to be, I'm going to say, even embraced by certain people that are corrupt, criminal people. They will embrace, they will say, oh wow, you know, can you do even more of that stuff? And you know, they always look for the crazy people. It's not about driving people crazy, but they always look for crazy people that can be easily driven insane. And then what they do is they go through that stuff and they do bad stuff like this, you know. Just remember, whatever fucking country you are, the one at the top is always the one that has the upper hand. And it doesn't matter how your civil rights, whatever issues are big, and you have on the other side of the ocean, you have people who claim that they're just like you, and they see themselves in you, and you know, yada 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 yada, you know. Just remember, there's always somebody at the top that has the upper hand. And the way you might want to even apologize your corruption, it might just not be, you know, it might just not be it. It might just not be this place here, I was just a little earlier. Yeah, they were fucking around with me here in this place here. They started to. Well, I don't even know where the hell I am now. Let's go back up here. Okay, so we go up here, right? And then we go downhill down there. Let's see this here. See, because this is. It is a little bit on the other side of the city, toward the other side of the town. You see how easy you can just have to find a way back. I gotta go back to my man on the top of the Blueberry Hill. Let me go back to the Blueberry Hill. Look at it. Wow. See this? Look at it. Blueberry Hill. The one that Putin loved to sing about. Let me see this stuff here. Medical center. You see this medical center? Oh no, this medical center came to life with the young girls inside. Barely this stuff came to life. They created this stuff late. So this shit is a clinic, alright, so now I know. This is old. I mean, not what I mean old. This is the stuff that this medical center this is the clinic. What is it? 2003. No, it actually makes me angry because I'm thinking about what was there before. Fuck, man. They took down the building. They took, this was such a nasty place, this place. Boy, you have no fucking idea. This place, this is a medical center. It's like a clinic. Oh, shit, it's regional. This here, for this one here, for this one, this was you know what this shit was? This was always some kind of hospital, and what they did was they reconditioned the whole fucking thing, sometimes in 99 with completely everything new. There was some white doctors inside. I had a feeling that this was a military hospital before, and yeah man. This was this place here. I think this was a military hospital, this place here. I think that this was a military hospital, this place. I think the building was even... this is just a nasty place. And in 98, I think they took that down or something like that, and they started to build this one here, the one you see. Now let me do a little bit more here. Can I even get there somehow? On the other side I cannot. Okay. And the way this stuff, what I'm saying to you is the way it was. It was not a military hospital, but it looked like a military hospital, man. It looks like a total dumpster. Shithole. Inside of this stuff, and I don't really know, there might even be the old structure. And if it's the old structure, it would be right there in the middle. You see that in the middle of it? That would be the old part of the hospital. Before 1998, you know what I mean? And then sometimes in 1998, I think they started to increase this. I think that they enlarged this building, you know? It looked like a fucking military hospital, if you ask me. Like you... Before it was black physicians, multiracial physicians a lot. I don't know if it was even any white physicians inside. And then they change absolutely everything. So now look at this here. See this here? This is a building. In the center of this building is still the old structure. If you go to the center of the building, it's still the old structure. And it's an old fucking place. Who the hell knows how old this shit is, you know? And then what they did was they started to renovate. It appears they started to renovate this shit and increase the size of one. And that's how this structure, the way you see it. They increased the size. Let me do a little bit surgery here on this hospital here. Gonna do a little bit surgery on these people here. Brain surgery. This place, I would already find myself with the physicians inside as a child. It's a big problem doing this kind of stuff because of this idiotine, because of this cretin that you need to bring to the justice so he can explain on just how many different facilities did he had me switching. Yeah, the MKUltra give you the opportunity to switch the pictures in a victim. You have a person walking in a space, filling the space in 1 minute, and in a second minute you can have one 500 miles away, waking up, opening his eyes in a somewhat similar surroundings outside of the building. And now you're convincing him about something completely different. And this is what this animal was doing. So the stuff I'm doing, I'm not doing the MKUltra of the building right now, but I'm doing something completely different. This renovation of this building, this is what is important stuff here. And this is how I get the things done. I remember the girl, a young sexy girl, was looking for the job, a Hispanic of a mixed race. She was looking for the job here in 1998. This girl. The hospital was green before. I think it was a green color. The color that I remember the most. And I might be mistaken about that stuff. And I might be not mistaken about this stuff. I am gonna take my chance. The interior, the hallway. It's a hallway. Trying to point out this thing. But it got increased when it comes to this building here. Might not even be the case. That's a very difficult one. Yeah, that's a very, very, very difficult one. Very, very, very difficult one. They did have other buildings they mixed with this one. Shit. Yeah, it's a problem because this did existed. And of course this also existed. There was white ladies that physicians and so on. So yeah, they were trying to screw me up here with this stuff a lot. Oh, these Slovenian animals, I don't understand how come that, you know. This is, the nurses were really looking like German nurses really, as if really white. A physician was a white female physician, and so they give me a tour of the facility, and this side here is supposed to be a surgical stuff. This here, this was supposed to be a surgical one. This was supposed to be a surgical one, and it was a female physician doctor. That was not a nurse. That was a doctor, a female physician on this side here. It wasn't only one, of course. They had more than one. So this here would be, I don't know, some kind of a specialization. Because they were talking to me about what kind of problem this he has. They were talking to Slovenian police and so on. And then this physician, female physician, white lady, took also to other surgical facilities, hospitals, bigger hospitals than this clinic. This is where the male guy, I think, worked, a doctor, a physician. I remember him, a white physician, doctor, older guy. This was an older guy. I remember them now. Yeah. Shit. This place here, it appears the only thing that happened to this place was renovation. There you go. So, that's all there is to it. I think the renovation of this place took place sometimes in, I don't know. That was a military hospital that they had me. It was a completely different facility, but they were switching in between. This hospital here, this one here, renovation and that kind of stuff. '98, '99. Okay. a guy inside even looked like a Ron Paul. So this will be even a surgical site, from what I understand. That's what you would have examining inside done. This would be more of a, I understand, demanding stuff. This is where they would have procedures also done, smaller obviously, or whatever. Alright, so just remember me, and I'll say a big fuck you to Milan Kuchan right there. A big one. A big middle finger right there to Gregor Golobic and Golob. The only thing you do is you put ICH and you see this shit right here. With this dunk here, I continue to refer as murderers, killers, assassins employed by the Slovenian state 24/7, wearing a blue uniforms and working as an investigation, the so-called investigators. That's how we do it. Big middle finger, look. Big one from me, look. See this here? A big one. 1998, you see it? You got it? You gonna remember? You're gonna fucking remember me, motherfuckers. Milan Kuchan is crying right now. I can hear one all the way here. Let's go to this place here. This place here, I was told, once I get you in here, you won't get out no more. You'll never get out of here anymore. Once I get you here, you'll never get out of here. You like it here, Bobby? Yeah, I like it here. Man, we're in trouble. He likes it here. This was also black guys that was inside. On the ground floor right there, let me demonstrate to you. This is a big lobby. It's a dining room on the bottom. It's a big ass dining room. Big fucking dining room, huge dining room. And then is the stairs. This is a really old building. And then is the stairs up, and this is where you would have these poor kids going up there. That's the way it goes. Since I was a child, I was here. The ground floor, a big dining room right below. They would bring me here. They would have mornings. And then there is stairs. I don't know, man. Really old stairs. Of course, they're not wooden stairs, but there's something about the stairs. They were like really old stairs, and then you would go up. Big white stairs that you would walk up there. Like in the school, really. Let me see. So this is a hospital, right? This one here. This was on the picture. They had me here also, but I don't know what it is. Oh, this stuff. It's a pretty old building, but this building was built. Let me get back here. This was the newest building, this one here. This was the newest one they created. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Let me see it. So that I can tell you. This was like the first new building that was built. And it was to me it was a really beautiful building, this building. Oh, this year when this building was built, to tell you the truth, I go back in time like this, and what I do is I picture my teacher of the basics of the socialism and samoupravljanje, I don't know how you say that, but it was some kind of a socialist class subject that we studied in the high school. And so this goes, I really think about this one here. (1987). (1988). And I'm gonna stop at 1988. It was a beautiful, 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 beautiful building, brand new building back then. And I was actually sure that this building is for me. Now let me see, what the hell is that? That's a hospital, isn't it? There are offices up there. It should be offices. There should be let me see how much Americans play with this stuff here. This should be medical offices, I think. Or if they were switching in between this stuff, it might be something else. Who the fuck knows? Sure, it looks damn empty, this whole thing. Oh yes. Okay, there you go. I think this was a medical building. This is the way I see it. What is this shit here? Clinic, yep, clinic, there you go. This is where you would go with a Milan Kuchan inside, straight through here. A clinic, yeah, a clinic. So, they already empty one. Why the hell would they empty one? It's just such a big, beautiful building. Is what the fuck they have going on, man? Not too long ago, there was a lot of people there. Still, people were sensitive to the way I saw things, and I didn't want to see this no more. There was so much torture that went on here that. Well, wherever your Milan Kuchan appeared, he surely did make you fortunate people. Oh, fuck, and this is a completely other side of the town here. Oh, Lord, that's again completely other story. Oh, my God. This here, this building, this stuff here, this here, the stuff that you see right here, this one here. Oh Lord, man, this was the epicenter of MKUltra torture, this place here. And so there was, Ron Paul was involved in this stuff. Paul family was involved. All these older politicians, Gingrich and all these people, they were coming here to see all this stuff and so on. Man, these people have no fucking face, eh? This is a big thing for the black community here that you see here. A big deal. because they had to put this shit to shame, a disgrace. They have to put one away some way, somehow. They started to build this in 1982. How the hell I was in 1982? Hell, 1982, 4th grade. I was a big kid. I was a pretty damn big kid. Alright. 1984 they started to build this. So that I leave no doubt behind. Why the hell do I even have to remember all this? Yeah, this is the this is a totally this building here. It's a beautiful building. I like this building. Oh, this was a torture building. This was actually, how can I even say? It's vandalized, isn't it? I mean, it's all fucked up, isn't it? The people are not happy about this stuff. People remember this stuff. Shit, man, they created a lot of problems to themselves. This here, this place here, what the fuck this is? Offices. This is where I would go inside and I would be tortured for the cash. Businesses, small businesses, I think it was. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the fuck these people were. They would deliver me to this room here and here, Russians. There was some black people inside in there. Some black, I have no idea who it was. This here, this was very black, and the blacks were always thrilled to see me. Not in a good sense, in a really bad sense. Russians. So. This is a stuff that U.S. government was the one who went far too far. What the hell was inside in there? Offices here. One office. Whoever was this was office. And I don't remember what was the rest of it. I don't remember what was the rest of it. It was like some fucking military stuff inside. I really do not know. Very bad place. Very bad place. I don't know, man. I don't know. Were this some kind of a shrinks, physicians? They were even saying that they will be deciding about me. Here, these two rooms right here. The last floor right here. Second, not the last. The middle floor right here. At the end here. I don't know, why the fuck would these people be deciding about me? Maybe psychiatrists? No. Who the hell were these people inside? I see the lady walking inside in there, like a secretary. They had white people back here. Maybe even Jewish. Physicians, maybe. Doctors, psychiatrists, who the fuck? I don't know. I think this is what this shit was. I think that... I think this is what this was. I don't know why they were saying that this is where the lies were decided about the people. I would promote this black people. I would love to know what the fuck was inside in here, because I don't know why, but I can feel a lot of fear. People had a lot of fear here inside, and they were trying to affect me with the fear, and then I reacted back by. And this place was for the black community, this place. But before that, it was completely white. It was totally white building. You know what this shit was? This is something with the money handout. This was some kind of a social services, because this is where the people would go for the social handouts, I think. This is what I think this was. This is where they give people money, I think. Maybe disability or other social, that kind of stuff. Unemployment, I don't know. This is what this was, because I remember the guys going inside in there, they were preparing themselves, talking about the black guys. Hey, dear God, hey. They fucked me the building up. I'll tell you that much. They fucked me the buildings up. This was the first building that popped up right here. This one. This was the first one they fucked me up. This were so evil. Ladies and gentlemen, this was so fucking evil that you have no fucking... Look, you see it? They destroyed me the fucking building. Look at that. Oh no. That's impossible. That's not possible. That's simply not possible, because that building that you have seen, that building was built sometimes in like, I don't know, 2000, I have to see. So this shit is not possible. What the fuck? This is not possible. So no, man, no. They destroyed me the building. This building, they fucking destroyed me. Even this building, they destroyed me. This is 2025. No, you're fucking kidding me. No, they didn't do this to me. It can't be. No, man, these people destroy piece of me. You have no idea how much I want to go there and see it. Feel it. They destroyed me the building. No, I would preserve that building. That building is just beautiful. Actually, inside of the building was nothing special, but I like it the way it was outside. But it's over. They destroyed the building. They destroyed the building. They did. They destroyed me the building. Motherfuckers. This was a very, very historic building. here you also walk through to this medical center. This came to life. This is the black people didn't like this building. They fucking hate it. All right, good. This was the first one that came up. This one here. Oh no. No. The stuff I'm talking about is crazy. I already explained the issue behind that medical center, okay? In this street here, they went on to also renovate this street. They also wanted to modernize the street. So this one here, this one came to life here, that you see here. What is this here? Sanders Emergency Service Building, whatever the hell that is. This here, let me see this stuff here. This is the old part of the building. I see. This is old part of the building. Let me see something else here. Just something that I do have to see here. Yeah, this was the old part of the building. I'm crazy. This is where the ambulance would come. This is where they would deliver people with the ambulance vehicle, right through here. Okay. It's just there is something else to it. This part here that you see here is not exactly so old. This is not exactly the old part of the building. Let me see something else here. Let me see something. No, this is actually old part of the building. It is. This was the old part of the building. Yeah. They were switching with another building, this stuff here. They were switching this stuff with another building. So they are fucking me up everything here, huh? The whole hill. I see, man. No mercy. They just took it down, everything. This is the old part of the building here. Complex, all this stuff here. All this stuff here that you see right there. This stuff here. This was the nastiest fucking place in the world. The most violent place in the world. I fucking hated. I hated this fucking Birmingham. This was a evil. Total evil. Total fucking evil was this place. Total evil. Alright, now we see it from this here perspective. Okay. So, what the hell is to say? I saw this fucking place when I was a baby, this building that you see right there, this stuff here. This was the most evil sight to behold. To see this motherfucker place, and the way I was delivered to this fucking place was through here. This was the most diabolical place, with this man here in the picture who loved nothing more than for me to be terrified, horrified. Loved nothing more than a prospect of a terror. Where the hell is this? What is this? We're gonna close some of these windows here. So yeah, I give you a little MK Ultra here, history about the Birmingham. I'll do some of that stuff too. Let me see this here. No. As a child, I remember. As I remember these streets here. As a child. This one won't take you any place just like you see it. This one didn't take any place. Wait a minute. Let me see it. Oh no. It did. Fuck, it did. It did. It did. That nasty view. Yeah. That was really a horror to see these streets. Let me see this here. Yeah, that was the right one. The other one was the right one. This violence here, it flourished. The violence here was, this is the right one. It was just flooded with the violence. And yeah, when you saw that beast from far away, this red stuff that you see right there, you knew where I was. They really prided themselves with this stuff here. So that's the way this stuff was. Birmingham, Alabama. Horror. Truly, truly, truly horror, man. Streets of violence. Unlimited violence. Always was like this. There is nothing else to say, so the kids would play. Shit. I wasn't gonna go for it, but alright, I'll call this MK Ultra video on Birmingham, a little piece of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm done with this stuff. I'm not gonna go and dig with this stuff more. Is like anything else that I missed? Oh, I did miss. Oh yeah, I did miss. Thanks for watching this video. I don't know how much he's happy about the prospect of my blueberry hill. He's doing very well in Ukraine. He burned a quarter of Ukraine, so
the moon stood still on Blueberry Hill and lingered until
how many black people do you see there?
Love's sweet melody, but all those vows we made were never to be. Though we're apart.
That was the shit, yeah, that was the shit that gave the hope to the black community in the USA. That's the kind of stuff. Let's see how Trump is doing. Well, Tom Hanks is as good as new. I like this girl. Karine Jean-Pierre. But that's the way it goes, this stuff. On the other hand, I made a mistake. I was a little bit too generous here toward Milan Kujan. I did make a mistake about this stuff. It's not, I didn't do this properly. It's not good. This is a dealership from Milan Kujan, which even Japanese have settled in. This is in Jezerska Cesta in Kran, if you're gonna go by. Literally stolen dealership, literally robbed Milan Kujan with Golobic Golob, literally stole this from, I think, used to be, I don't know, in Yugoslavia used to be a company, one of those old companies in Yugoslavia that used to be, and it's got something to do with I don't even know, Iskra, or Iskra probably was not, but I have to find out what it was. It has something to do with the power line, power. This is a old building, very old building, with just upgraded, cosmetically upgraded, that you see right there area. But this is old building, literally stolen from the taxpayers' money, building by Kuchan, so that you know, this is the way it went. They just went out there and robbed all the property from taxpayers. As soon as it was the end of Yugoslavia, they called that privatization. It was actually a total robbery, theft on a large scale. So we're a bit too generous here toward Milan Kujan. This shit here, this is one of the first ever projects. This is still very important for me. This stuff is every one of this is really important for me. It's really important for me. For me, this is just a very important stuff for me. Extremely important. And I like this Birmingham. It was so beautiful. This the nature wise, everything's so different than here. The nature, the trees, everything. I love it. Where the hell is this one? Is this I would have to go again across this Blueberry Hill and so on, and I'm not fucking doing that. And I never try to see this stuff here. So let me just simplify this stuff here. Okay, so this is this is this. Hell, man, I don't know. I know the streets better than I do. Do you believe how crazy this stuff is? I know the freaking streets better. No, this is again another. This is again. Where the hell is this? This is Texas again. Again, I'm in Texas again. How the hell am I in Texas? Is this one here, Caraway Hospital? So this is probably going to do it for me. Do you know how far this goes? This was a big fucking mistake I did. Tremendous mistake. I almost completely fucked myself up. I did such a good job with absolutely everything. So luckily I found this way now to glue these videos together, and this is gonna be just one I'm gonna do. This stuff here, this goes to my 2nd grade of the grammar school this year. And now it's done. So this stuff here, this goes to 1980. Well, wait a minute, maybe 1979. There you go. This was the first major, bigger project that United States of America government was forced, according to the black community, through my case. This one here, Milan Kuchan claimed that this was his success. That this was my success. He claimed that this was my success, and it was my success because he was hiding behind the extermination procedure, genocide against me. So he empowered the black community through a torture. So whenever they would say this is your success, this is yours, they meant torture, killing. Oh, Jesus, that's how this man was growing. Jesus, a communist Jesus. This goes to, you know what this goes to? This goes to 2nd grade, 1978, this year. It was a major success for me this year. They gave 0 money, 0 cents, 0 dimes. It was a black community that demanded torture so they could get buildings like this raised up, and attributed afterwards this to me as a success for them. This is what this is. I almost fucked myself up. Almost. That's really violent. That's truly so violent. That's as violent as it gets. Alright. Anyhow, thanks for watching this video. Now, you see. This is a major success of Josip Broz Tito. How wonderful would that be, going in other countries, creating social unrest, shit, and claim credits for one. That would be fantastic. And that's what this was.
Let me finish this MK Ultra here. I made a mistake, enormous mistake. Enormous mistake I made. Whew. Luckily for me, I thought about it twice, about this whole thing. And yes, there is a whole lot more that I did not talk about this place. And this almost was a very bad mistake. However, luckily, I recall that Josip Broz Tito had a physician's doctors in the United States of America he was visiting. He had his place in New York, and there were 2 to 3 clinics, hospitals where Josip Broz Tito would go to. Seems like as if he did not trust his own people back in Yugoslavia, or those might not have what problems he needed to have it solved. And one of the hospitals that had an entrance like this, corner like this, you would go, and then it was an entrance. And luckily I returned here and I look at the entrance, and the entrance doesn't look like that. Almost made a mistake. Yeah, almost made a mistake. Whatever hospital that was, Yugoslavs, the KGB, associated that hospital with this location here. And luckily for me, what I did was, because this is also very, very sneaky. Look, if you want to go through here, you cannot even make it through here. If you want to go past through, you cannot go through. And it was based on MKUltra. They knew exactly where which side I'm gonna go come from to this place, you know. And so that's how I came here, you know, in a wrong way. Let me demonstrate you something else. This is not over with. Oh, luckily I managed to escape from this road. You see, we were on that road, and I managed to penetrate here in the parking lot, but this is now on the other side of that tunnel that I couldn't enter a little earlier. And so this side here, shit, what I did was stupid. Let's see if I can do it again. This tells a totally different story. This here explains the story of the Joe Biden who delivered me here and was talking to me. Oh no, this has always been here. You see, they brainwashed me to see the building through the torture from the other side of this building complex. Yeah, this torture, when they do to you, is so strong that you won't even bother to see anywhere anything. You'll just go, and this is the way it's gonna be. But how the hell would I know that Joe was actually talking the truth about this stuff? Well, I do, because let me see this for last time. Goodbye. Oh, let me see something else here. It's got something to do with the garages, though. Oh, garages were maybe on that side, maybe might have been newly built or something like that. I don't know. I would have to go over that stuff. But let me just close this video. This building always was here, and this stuff, the way they talked, was already Josip Broz Tito when I was a baby. Insisted me. He was here. He knew this place. He knew. He traveled America. He insisted me, using also again black community to insist me, and also white US government to insist me that even that they don't want to have these buildings around anymore, because it came to place like in the sense, like it came to place. This was also Joe Biden, because of those Soviets, because of those Yugoslavs and so on. See, so the chances that you would not fall for this kind of brainwash when drugged up practically do not exist. This is filthy. These people filthy. I was a child, really, when I was walking through here with some black kid. We would be going here because his mom worked here. That's actually a killer right now. I would be with him, with his family, and his mom was a nurse, something like that. And we would go to pick up mom. And so that's why I know that this shit is an old place. Always was here. So that's how I get this thing solved. And that's basically the end of this bullshit. Blah blah. All you needed to know about all this stuff. So that's how I terminate this video. I only have to think about something else right now. Because that could be even of a greater trouble. This is what they call the old entrance. And this is what I don't understand. What the fuck? This is more complicated. What I initially even thought about. And they refer to this as my clinic, literally. As my hospital. Norwood Clinic. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That truly doesn't have any sense. That truly doesn't make any sense. This stuff here. It really doesn't make any sense here. Yeah. This is just the old building complexes for which they insisted me that these are my portions of the buildings and so on. I am trying to picture. And let me see something else if I can do that. Okay, we're gonna stay here. Okay. Okay, so this is what's gonna help me out to see this stuff for something else. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah. Okay, now I get to see this stuff here. So this is what they claimed, that this was my portion of the building. The portion of the building that you see was taken down. This was just an old piece of building where the patients were inside. This was the hospital. So I don't understand how the fuck this would be. How the hell would this have to do anything with me, man? Then they started to claim me that this building, this portion of the building, was my portion of the building. With what it appears to be, if I understand this, people here were evil motherfuckers. That I will say to you, that this is fucking evil. Evil as fuck, man. Truly evil stuff. Okay. So let me, I have to picture this. They claim me that this was the old entrance, this here. This was never an old entrance. You know what this was? This became a private clinic here, though. That's one thing I'm gonna say to you. And when this became a private clinic, is this the same? Let me just see this here. What is the name of this one here? Norwood Clinic. Okay, Norwood Clinic. This became a private clinic. Do you know when? This became a private clinic sometimes in
How the fuck is this gonna be a private clinic? This became, because I remember inside what appears to be was like, oh, this entrance was blue, but aha, that's why I get it. The flooring was made out of it's called actually not really. Okay. And let me see something here. Okay, here you got nothing. Here you got this. This basically, you go inside, you go here. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This was just a long hallway, and you had on the right side you would have offices. As a matter of fact, this was so specific. It was more specific. I would have to see the pictures and explain to you which one it was. Very complicated, very unique entrance that you would go inside. And where the hell I was right now? This was under the new physician at least, or if not reopened. This is not a new clinic. This belongs to this clinic. This is this part of the hospital, but this came under the new directive, a new one. I think it was in '98. They had some kind of problems, and in '98 it was a new physician that was ahead, that was running this place. I don't know what the fuck is this about the old entrance. What do you mean by this old entrance? Maybe old entrance because they would not bring me to the front door. That's possible. They would not bring me through the front door because it would be cameras, people that would see me. That makes, now I understand what they mean this by old entrance. Yeah, it is old entrance in a way. It is old entrance. Yeah. But this whole building, this is not new. And let me see this building here, this stuff here, this, and this part here, this stuff here. I remember this white maintenance guy that would have me here, with this maintenance people that would have me. Yeah, it looks bullshit. This is the way it looks, Mr. Joe Biden. It looks like a bullshit. It looks like you. This, they would take me inside, and the way you see this stuff here, you know, you don't see it through my eyes, but in the building that they were using also to switch this building with, it would be like empty rooms inside, all over empty rooms. Except that this is nothing empty here. It's bullshit. They were taking me to the new building, some kind of a new building for which they claim that this is, and it's nothing in there and so on. It's a new building and so on. This building, you know, this building is this here. Let me see just one more time from this perspective. What would it look like without that piece of building? And that way I'm gonna know immediately what's going on. So this is this here, then you have this here, this, that kind of stuff.
And you have this kind of stuff like this. Yes, this. Yeah. Do you know that this was always where they would deliver me, through here? Always they would deliver me here. And sometimes in the I was like in 8th grade of the grammar school in 1986. They would bring me here to this entrance. This is the way they were doing the stuff, and they would say, "Oh, look, it's new, and now we have this, and it's all new. Look at this, it's all new." This is the way they were doing the stuff. Talking about the Robert Golub, Kuchan. This is the way it was. Oh, and look, it's all new. It's all new. Okay, so. Yeah. Yeah. I was like in the 6th grade of the grammar school when they would say, "Oh, look, and it's all new, and it's all new." A lot of torture here, and at the end of the day, there is nothing there to say. This always was here. This is also just as well all part of the building. It was also some black guy who gave me a tour inside in here, and this is gonna do it for me. This looked to me like offices. Down here, however, might have been even few rooms that it was maybe a physician, some kind of, I don't know what they were specialized in. I don't know, maybe hearing or something like this. I don't know. Eye clinic, hearing. I think this was for the hearing, and for the hearing might have been here down in this area that I demonstrated you, and the eye specialist might have been here also in this blue entrance that you go inside. This might have been just like this. This entrance is very, very specific because I would have to see the very, very, very specific entrance it is. The problem is they had another 3 hospitals on the picture, with one a little bit more ample that gets inside. I don't think I should be doing this stuff, but okay, I mean, no, I'm not going to be doing any of this stuff. That's what the photos are for. That's why you go and you... They were using 5 different locations, at least 5 different locations. And on top of that, they were using the hospital which Josip Broz Tito was using. That fucking Josip Broz Tito, who was looking for the proof of the schizophrenia. I almost fucked myself very, very badly. Joe Biden said he's gonna crash this building down because it was too much torture done, so that it would not fuck me up. Not what I get there, nothing is gonna fuck me up. Black people were really bad people here. I will never forget the guy, also black guy, who would deliver me here and would doubt my sanity. They love to doubt the sanity. Asking you questions and go, what? You know, if you do like this to person and you do some electroshocking in between and stuff like this, you know you're gonna fuck one up. I mean, sad, very, very sad stuff indeed. This here, this kind of stuff here, This kind of stuff. You know what this is? You know what this building was? This is where the government had two things. This might have been, one of these people might have been a psychiatrist here, and they were deciding about the people's disability status in this building here. So, you know, I walk without even a single scratch. I mean, you won't fuck me up like this. I can say that you don't know me. You don't know shit about me. You don't fucking stop me with your stuff. It's a disgrace because it talks a lot. It talks a volume about your civil rights, liberties. You know, that I distance myself completely away from. I don't know, but you lost the compass. You lost this Martin Luther King compass. And I don't know about that either, because it was all kinds of stuff that was involved in it. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe this is a stuff that was all necessary. Maybe this is how the society is shaped. Otherwise, it would have been even much worse. I have no fucking idea about what to think about it all. But I was a victim. You really did destroy my life. This here, the offices. Hold on a moment. No. Let's not get so quickly out of here. The building here, this area up there. I don't know what to make out of this one here. I really do not know what to make out of this one here. I don't know. This would be like a hospital administration or something like that. I don't think so. The offices were up there. But I think it was a small area that had to do with the offices. Not as big as, you know, they brainwashed with it's you know, office area and stuff like this. They were using another building also to convince that it was office area. Small office area. If it was small. This is just a hospital. Alright, I can do some more information about this stuff here. We can do some more about that stuff. I'm not sure, but I think that for the people with a lot of money, politicians and that kind of shit, and I don't know, you ought to be lucky to get behind in there. In the rear they had rooms for, I think, I might have mistaken the hospital. Let me see this. How the hell do you go the okay, let's see this stuff again, like this from above. Damn it, man, they destroyed me, the fucking building, eh? Really screw me up all the way. I would be happy if I would see this shit happening long time ago, if you understand me what I mean, but right now I'm just not. If you had a lot of money, I think, and I am not sure about that, you maybe would end up on this side here. No. That was another hospital. Let me see something else here. Yeah, no.
No, fuck. I don't. I cannot make this kind of statements. This area here, I think, was like for a heavy patients here. This was like, how the fuck would I even say this stuff? This probably was an area where you would have people, not gonna say lost cases, but people with a much bigger problems. I think they were located right here in this back area like this. I think that they had a like this here. This was like 1, 2, 3, 4 floors, upper floors. This will be like for the heaviest patients, I think. This area here in the back. Yeah, I did go visit up there too, and they would deliver me up there to see people inside, and there was some guy also that was inside. Who knows? Maybe it was the guy. You know, when people are thrown in the bed, they change facial features and everything, and it all depends how you treated or mistreated or whatever. So that's why I like to come back here and do a little bit more of this stuff here. Yeah, right there in the back is exactly what I stated is the way it was done. That's the way it was in the back, completely in the rear. And up here, this was no, this was a physicians. There was doctors here, rooms also for the people. More modern part appeared. The most modern part was this one here appeared to me. I think this is where they keep more white people inside, and I don't know. To me, it appeared like that. At least the staff, the physicians, and so on were more white in this floor than right there in the back, I would say. This is the way it was. This is the way this stuff was. That's what this was. Otherwise, also rooms for patients. Quite dynamic nurses. I remember some blonde nurses, beautiful nurses inside in there. They had some Jewish doctors, physicians right there in the back. They were absolute beasts, man. It was just looking for problems, altercations all the fucking time. So I didn't want to be around there. That's what this is like, exactly what I explained to you. These nurses here were very, very active too, but they also have patients inside in there. A degree of the patients, what kind of degree of the patients was where? What the fuck went on? You know, I feel that the part that you see right there that is blue, I almost feel that this was, they performed surgeries in there. Because I remember the younger physicians, white physicians, they would also do surgeries here in this part, I think. They had area where they would also do surgeries. So it's very possible, I have no idea, that they might have done surgeries here and then afterwards they would transfer the patients inside and there, you know. That's a strong possibility. As far as the physicians, as far as the doctors, and that might not be exactly. They also performed surgeries here. I remember the doctor, and it was 2, 3 doctors, white doctors, Americans, younger doctors, I don't know why I get all the time idea about the Ron Paul. Actually, his son Randy Paul, like young physicians, and what would happen with them is they would report here to the senior physicians. This was like a younger building with the younger people, and inside younger employees, more dynamic. And inside in there you had older physicians. They had a surgical room somewhere in the center of the building, is where they would perform the surgeries. You understand? Somewhere like this, if you had an X-ray and it would just go like through, then this would be like a center, something like that. You would go right through, Let me see if I can show you from up top. Let's go here. The surgeries, when it comes to the surgeries were performed. Let me go, and I'm going to do the screenshot like this. I'm going to do a little bit screenshot. You better believe it that I was inside in here and that I spent a lot of time. I'm not about to let it go like this. This building here was an old building, and the only thing they did is in 1998 they upgraded one. They either upgraded one or they completely collapsed one down and built a new one. That's all there is to it. I have no fucking way to know whether they build a brand new one. They claim me, physicians working inside in there, they build a new one. But that might not necessarily be the truth. Apparently they did. The building was completely renovated. Impossible. The stuff I do right now is completely impossible. Think about having drugged up and having several buildings switched in between to play with your sanity. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to establish first a perimeter here, like this. We're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. Joe Biden smashed this building down because it was too many proofs and not because something would be wrong with me or whatever. That's the truth about this stuff, whatever. Okay, so the surgeries were performed right here, like this, in this area. This is where the surgical rooms were. So yeah, I would say that, I don't even know, but I would say that this was a ground floor, like this. Okay, so not all the way to the end, not all the way to the forward. This here was the surgical area. So just that you know where the surgeries were done. Alright, so I think that this here, this stuff here, this was a unit for intensive care after the patients would undergo surgeries. This is where they would be. When the patients would somewhat recuperate, this is where they would move them to the area. Let's do this stuff again. After surgery, close attention here. Now you can tell if I was here or I was not here. Well, tell them. We're gonna do this like that. And this is basically where they would move them once the patients would somewhat recuperate. They would move them to this area. You know what I mean. Basically, whatever is within this white, cube here that I created, this is where they would move them. Yeah, you get it? You get it the way it was? And the man, it's possible, the principal, very likely, because he was not the only one. Once they got old, they got into intensive care, just as I proposed right here at the end of the building. This here, because I remember this poor man. And the fuck am I gonna do, man? When you're drugged up and there's nothing you can do. You cannot fuck the woman unless she lets you do it, and you cannot even save the guy. You can do nothing, man. So this was for the older patients, for the old man intensive care this year. They would die here in this area here. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time. So no, this building was here before. I did not discover this building. The question is, since when was this building, right? This is what the question is now. Since when the hell was this building here? That's a question I did not definitely answer with the... Because this building here reminds of other location. I'm so afraid that this building is this side of the building is pulling me completely away. Totally away from Joe Biden theory, you know. This is where the problem is. They claim me that this portion of the building that you see right there, that was newly built, connected. Yeah. They claim me about that kind of stuff, that this one here came to place according to the brainwash. I don't know, man. Sometimes when I was in a 4th grade, like 1982, something like that. Can I guarantee this stuff? Fuck no. Hell no, man. The way the stuff went, the way they were doing this stuff is just... It's fucked up. I gave you such a good stuff about what this building was. And about that kind of stuff I gave you, man. It's just excellent stuff that I totally covered in and out. They presented me, man, this fucking building as completely empty building, switching other buildings and stuff like that. They were building some other building in the area. They deliver you into the empty building that somewhat looked like this, or whatever else. And you get completely fucked up, distorted idea about it. I am gonna stick with this here because of some other stuff. There is another reason why I'm gonna stick with this here. Yeah, man. I am just gonna stick with this here, and I'm gonna say that this here was here since from forever. That's all there is to it. All that other stuff from Milan Kuchan, that's the kind of stuff they're gonna have to find somebody else for that stuff to go on with that, with those theories. I don't think that. Let me just see something else. Oh yes. This here, this was built based on a trauma through the torture, this idea.
Yeah, the torture was so strong. You know, the torture was so strong, yeah. The torture was so strong, and they always look what you do. They always read your mind, how you see, what you see, things is. You know? That they... Yeah, this is a church right here. Yeah, this was the church. This was the church where they would also deliver me. Sure, this was the normal church where they would deliver me. But there was another church like the one I explained to you, where they would go also and pray inside. Maybe they went inside in there to pray with disabled people or something like that, to make them feel, you know, part of the community or something like that, associated with them. Yes, it was like this. It was like community awareness, you know. I don't know. Where the hell is this now? Museum of Art, Birmingham. Where the hell is this building now? The building disappeared me now. Let me see here again. Come on, eh? Oh man, eh? Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Hell, I don't. It's gonna be better off I just go down and drop myself here. This building here, this ambulance building with these ambulance vehicles, this place here. Oh, this is very, very, very old. I'm thinking about if I can pull something out of here. There was something more about this stuff here that I could maybe tell you some crazy details. I can always pull some crazy details out, because it's the crazy details that if you manage to pull, they'll allow you to prove the case. You know, it's so fucked up, eh? Alright, so I tell you what, man. I need to see this here. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I need to see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's exactly the way I said. That building was always there, and they just wanted me to concentrate. What is it with this shit? This is the buildings that I liked. Bright. And the cockroaches, like the cockroach I demonstrated you earlier, this cockroach here, he was always looking for a dark buildings, and also together with the psychiatrist Peter Koch. Together with this dunk here, they engage in the violence in a dark, fucked up places. They liked this kind of ambient like this. This was their ambient. This is what they love. Play with the police lights, dead end street and this. So, you know, naturally the eye was looking for the bright building, for the light colors. This is an animal. This is not a human being. This is a fucking animal. This is shit. This is a human shit, literally. Already looks like a piece of shit. It looks like a human shit. It doesn't even look like a human being. It's an animal. It's definitely animal. If the Germans had the Gestapo people, this was worse than Gestapo. This is a true animal. To have ability to see inside of his brain, you would see so much sickness that world have not seen one. I was not the only person this dementiac went after
he had other people. These people killed a lot of people. This stuff I do, the stuff I talk about, the stuff I do, it's called Autobahn. You know, Autobahn is a German highway, superhighway. It's called Autobahn of Death. This is automated death, basically. These are trails of death through which people never return alive. And they're well developed, they are well, through the certain dots connected together, that the only thing that does it at the end, the corpses are falling behind. That's all there is to it. It's a General Motors of death. Yeah, naturally that this is what you see as you go. You walk. This was this here. You see this red street here was the street that Robert Golob, Milan Kučan. It was the order from Milan Kučan. It was the order. It was a decree. Decret was issued by Milan Kučan to never bring me through here anymore. Beginning the 6th grade of the grammar school, you're not allowed to come through here. Why? Because of the white building. So did you learn a lot about this video? Do you think I was subjected to the torture, to MKH or not? Do you think the stuff I'm talking about is what it is? Or do you think I'm imagining? There is a whole sea, the whole ocean of you, psychiatrists and psychologists, involved in exactly this kind of stuff. So that I'm not going to even go and say anything about this stuff. Prohibited to come through this street beginning the 6th grade of the grammar school. This piece of shit of the human being is going to explain this stuff. This one here with this one here. This one was the one who, with Milan Kučan, issued decree. This was the most sick. This was the sickest dog of them all. This one here. This one was obsessed with the death. This one celebrated nothing but death, destruction. Total psychopath. Total psychopath. You know what this is for me this year? This is the same shit as Hitler was for the Jews, this guy. I'd love nothing more than to get my hands on him and on his progeny. Because his progeny, his family is the key to this stuff. Nothing more than that. And I swear to God that I will pursue until I get him in my hands. What the German Gestapo was to the Jews is what these guys are to me. You understand? I'd love nothing more in this world than to get my hands on him, on the other guy, on Kučan, and on the Novo Mesto police. Nothing more. And it's nothing in this world that's going to stop me from getting there. The day will come when we will meet. When we will meet. And we will meet. No matter what, the day will come when we will meet. Or by God, Slovenia as a country, as a nation will perish. This is a promise. This is my pledge, my oath to life, to my existence. And I'm 53. And I'm 53. I'm now more obsessed than ever getting justice for this scum. This is unprecedented violence that went on. This guy here will explain to you that due to violence beginning the 6th grade and maybe even the 5th grade of the grammar school, (1985), I no longer was allowed to use this street simply because of the white building. See this shit here? That one right there. Because of the white building. So that you imagine what kind of obsession this is, that they watched that
every millimeter of my eye movement, anything that I make, any kind of movement that I make. How are they doing this kind of stuff? I think I had a cameras attached to me when they were doing this kind of stuff. And so they were watching absolutely every millimeter that you make. Every millimeter that you make, they see where you see what you see. Some people refer to the scum as a thought police. It's not a thought police, it's a Gestapo. It's equivalent to Gestapo. So it was always this street they would bring me through. This is what they demanded from me. And they would not allow to see the sideways, the streets. That's how they wanted. Like this. This was always and forever the entrance to this place here. I'm really pleased and really glad I did this video. That white building right there was since from forever. I did not create one. Josip Broz Tito did have his physicians, his doctors, and they must be not too far from his New York apartment, luxurious apartment he had. You will never fuck me. Every time I'm gonna have to zoom myself in some kind of issue, I'm gonna come with 100 new details. If I make mistake, I'm gonna use the craziest fucking details to prove you wrong when you will try to make the claim that we don't know each other from before, we had not met, or I wasn't in some place, whatever the fucking place might be. There is always something I have reserved to myself when I have walked these highways of death that I can always use and pull out of my sleeve and use it. This is a scum. These are not people. It's a scum. It's a killers, assassins, murderers, wearing a blue uniform right here in the city of the Novo Mesto. Making a little commercial for Slovenia here. And the longer it's going to take, the more it's going to hurt. Just remember this. Thank you for watching this video. Till next time. The last thing I want to do, I want to present to you how difficult this stuff is so that you can actually understand. You know, when I spoke to you about the surgical rooms, you have no fucking idea what it means to be so manipulated, misguided, manipulated, how difficult this stuff is. They presented me this place. It was in my 4th grade. It was in my 4th grade. It was 1982. 1982 it was, when they would bring me here, and it was all crazy about it. And you know what they started to talk? They started to talk about this surgical rooms, that they will present them to me, that they just find out that we start a brand new thing and it's a new hospital and so on. I was told 1 million times it's a new hospital. God knows how many times I was told it's a new hospital, and who knows to how many they delivered me to every fucking hospital in the US. I doubt that it was not every hospital in the US. It probably was not every hospital in the US, but maybe it was every hospital in the US. I think when it comes to hospital, probably was every hospital in the US. And I did not go through the hospitals, but I was in so many hospitals that throughout the world that I would be surprised there would not be every fucking hospital in the US, but probably was not every hospital in the US. They started to talk to me about this stuff, that it's all new, that we are starting over. And the year was 1982, so you can imagine this stuff, how many different people, how many lies, how many manipulations
in respect to this stuff. And I will say to you one more thing here in respect to this room here. Because it was also doctors, it was also physicians, that this here also might be doubtful. Why? Because it was the physicians that I met, they also told me there are also surgical rooms in other locations, in other areas, like on a second floor, that they also had a surgical room, like on this side of the room of the hospital. It also was surgical room. It was also another physician that I remember, who told me that they also, he said, who told you this, and so on. No, and we have also, and it was like on this side, like this. They claim me they also have a surgical room. So it was a physicians that tried to correct, and it was other physicians, they tried to fuck me. In between all this, a tough job, truly tough job. I remember the physicians, though. I remember some physicians, those that did the surgery, I remember. And I remember this younger physicians here and nurses, just as I described. So that's how this stuff is. That you're not going to think that this is just, oh, and it was this, and it was this. MK Ultra is a lie. Lie is a satanism, is not? So what are these people that play with the dementia other than Satanists? What are they? A people other than obsessed with the Satan, with the Lucifer? What is this other than Satanism? What is this other than Satanism? What is this other than organized crime? It makes them feel good, wearing the blue uniform and the badge and the gun behind the belt. But what exactly that makes you, based on my description? What exactly that makes you based on my description? What exactly that makes you based on my description? Is it not a domestic terrorist that you are? What are you if you're not a domestic terrorist? Belgrade departed from here in 1990. You're still here, and you're posing with those police cars and with the police badges, with the uniforms and the psychiatric hospital.
There is something else I'm going to say to you. If you pay attention to my title, specifically this portion of the title right here, Serbs who also delivered me next to Slovenes, on how one will teach me about life next to factory. This is school I was referring to. School next to factory. This is what the Serbs started to brainwash me already since beginning. School next to factory. This also easily explains some other issues. This also easily explains that the guys that are filming this stuff are doing based on the stuff told to do the video to the last millimeter based on the Serbian scenario, which Josip Broz Tito wanted together with the Serbs. They were the ones, the first they do this stuff. Demanded from me to see during MK Ultra bestiality performed on me in 1976 to see this school here that you see here. Oh. To see this school that you see here doing their best to convince me that one is right next to this building here. That is next door to this building here.
In 30 seconds.
This is not next door, because if I go to this school here, I don't see this anywhere
I don't see this anywhere in the area of this. And I was guaranteed is right there. And I was ongoingly asked for 20 years or something by Robert Golub, by Kuchan, by police. They associated these two locations with one another. So this here had an ultimate price. This video that is done was literally the video that was used. Everybody you see here in this video, every one of these people was involved in this MK Ultra. I was crazy about this girl at one point in time, and things had it quite south for her. She had a difficult life instead. And the guy that you see here was involved in MK Ultra since my early childhood. These guys all met Russian KGB, I am talking about. This guy that you see right there, is a native from there, from what I recall. So what's interesting to me is that
That'll work or heaven?
It is. It's really, it's so great. You walking where kinfolk have walked. It's just so nice.
The abandoned school. Dark and creepy hallway. You first.
Okay.
Now, here's a classroom. Chalkboard.
They're learning well. Look at that. Real, actual chalkboard.
Yeah. Today's lesson is how to do graffiti. Gymnasium.
2 points.
Oh, yeah.
Go sports.
Look, there's nothing left of the wood floor in here. You know what's always in abandoned buildings, don't you?
I do.
Do you see one?
All right, let me do it. I see at least one.
Yep. And penis.
Not too much graffiti in here.
Are you kidding?
So what you see here was switched during MK Ultra literally with the Tennessee location. This is where they would be gathering and playing with the drones already for who knows how long. Except that this is far away from location we were at right there. So and one had nothing to do with another. There's a great distance in Tennessee. Well, actually not really so distant either. This is what they were playing with the drones. I placed them a comment 2015, you know. I placed them a comment right below. So this was you see what I state right now, that this is a native and so on, that he got to meet Russians, the KGB, and the word was about Birmingham in Alabama. See how crazy that positions me. See what this is. This is what this garbage do. This is what the trash does over there. That's close to 400 kilometers apart. Now, if you would say that this is not possible and so on, because just look at the distance and so on and so forth, that would have been impossible and so on. If you would go and talk to these people already warned me about, if you will say this, that we know each other and this and that and so on, it will be no, 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 it's impossible and so on. They were giving me warnings about this and that. Well, this is older generation of the people who was involved in this case, in this MK Ultra case, since my childhood. I'm not talking about the 2 KGB people. I'm not talking about the 3 KGB people. Geez, you're talking about maybe 100 different KGB people entering United States of America in my presence. Young KGB people getting to know United States from my perspective, from my point of view. It's like, oh, we have to see what he's going through and what he's doing, and if he gets treated the way we want him to get treated based on our agenda. Do you understand me what the fuck I say? So, fact of the matter is that chances that any of the people involved in MK Ultra of older generation, more or less my age, would not meet these KGB people practically do not exist. In America, there was God knows how many people. KGB went through the Hollywood and everywhere else. If you want to play the games with them, then you have to allow them a political agenda from Eastern Europe to be enforced also on a U.S. soil. Since they saw me like their property, I had nothing to do with them. I was nothing more than their prisoner, but Americans didn't do any difference in this thing. They didn't bother to stop that either. So this is not one place to one another, as they were already brainwashing me. It was and is since my earliest childhood. It was Josip Broz Tito that he did not travel very often throughout the United States, but when he traveled with me, having me next to him, when he would observe certain things, he would want for those certain things to be implemented, and he had people who would, based on observation, advise him. I was his most important case. Remember, people in Yugoslavia no longer could even see him because of me. He came out as violent in front of the people. And even his prestigious Marshal Tito title no longer guaranteed him a survival on a political arena because of his violence, because of the stuff that people observe him doing, which has nothing to do really with the partisans. Both sides of my family were involved in the partisans, and both sides of my family were enrolled in a communist party. I told you about both sides of my family. So when people started to see this old man for what really one was, his prestigious status that he held started to fade away. Why is this important to me? So why did you give the assistance to the KGB? That's my question. When you recorded this stuff,
what you did was you went directly through the just as they dictated you that you have to do. So you committed a really federal felony. Remember, I'm American citizen since 2000. Also, this is for me a federal felony because do you know why I was brought to United States of America for this? Do you know what what it is? Josip Broz Tito wanted to convince me life in the box is the way to go. Josip Broz Tito wanted to convince me that I'm a fish in an aquarium that I am not allowed to see outside of Slovenia, outside of Yugoslavia, I should say. My home, as Josip Broz Tito designed, was in Belgrade, inside of the psychiatric hospital. That is what Josip Broz Tito pledged to, will absorb me, pain, and through the pain and suffering. This was his motto. Josip Broz Tito under no circumstances wanted me to see myself in America. He feared the most that my interactions with British, with Americans, with Germans, with Scandinavians, with Spanish, with Italians and others will create a big problem to the Soviet Union, to the Yugoslavia, since I was a baby. And therefore he was determined to convince me that stuff they do to me in Yugoslavia, which was totally bestial, because I said he designed me to be a mental patient, will be equal and or exceeded abroad. That's why he was bringing me to United States of America. That's why he was bringing me to all other locations. I see this as a treason. I'm American citizen, and you just seem like you don't fucking understand this. This is federal felony. You are committing a treason, act of treason. You are not talking to the foreign citizen anymore, in my case. You got a little bit confused, Biden, with somebody else. Since 2000, I'm American citizen. And what was inside of your head, whatever they told you, that's the way it is. It's only inside of your head. This is, you have aquariums inside of your head. It's a shit fish that is swimming inside of your heads and is saying to you, we must comply, we must comply. Well, you're gonna rot in the jail for it. You're gonna rot in the jail for it. Since 2000, this shit is a treason. I am a citizen since 2000. So I don't know how you think, what you think about me, but you're very, very, very mistaken. Whatever they told you to view things as, when I was a baby, when I was a child, you had absolutely no right to. You have absolutely no right to, but since 2000, that's actually a grand treason. You did not have the right to do any of this stuff. And it seems like you just don't understand.